Hello everyone and welcome. It's morning time here at the Monk Life Meditation Center in Vietnam, and we're going to continue our investigatory work on the modern spiritual trap or cult of non-duality. Today we're going to be continuing our research by listening to one of the foremost patriarchs or leading representatives of the best that this modern Western non-duality has to offer, Jim Newman. So I invite all of our members of the community to find a space of stillness, of peace, of awareness, of being. We're also beginning to transition into a more serious time, stepping away from some of the art projects and exploration with interacting with the public, the general public, when it comes to our live streams and our teachings. So you may find that at certain times when you join our stream, it may be for members only for members. And if you do feel the value in this work and you want to be a part of this community, you're encouraged, you're invited to become a member. It's about $10 a month. So if you don't take this environment seriously enough to offer or support for $10 a month, then maybe it's not the right place for you generally. Now, if anyone has any kind of economic difficulties and they're in need of support, they'd like to be a member, but are not able to afford it, you can reach out to me directly. The contact information is there in the description of this YouTube channel, and we may be able to work out a scholarship or some way to support you in your continued journey with our community. Let's take a few moments to be meditative together. Relax the body, relax the mind. Find a position in which the body can easily be still and relaxed. Closing our eyes and looking inward. Whatever thoughts appear, no need to think about those thoughts. Just being totally and completely open and available to the inside of the mind, the inside of the body. So let's begin our investigation work, our deep listening, and take a look at Jim Newman. Jim Newman sometimes hosts these live Zoom meetings, and this is a recording that he uploaded on his channel. So let's take a look at this and see what truth or absence of truth we can pick out. Not approaching it with a intellectually skeptical mind, but allowing the words to go through you.
In the end is always unexpected. So what we're talking about in the end is always unexpected. It's this, but it's not this as perception, or let's say not exclusively as perception. When we're talking about this, we're talking about wholeness. You could say it's a unity between what is and what isn't. That's what this is. It's what is and isn't. And it's all there is. And it is that unity of is and isn't, which reveals the, well, you could say perfection, the completeness, the wholeness that this is. Then all that kind of points to the needlessness of this. When there's in this as that, there can appear a sense of separation. And what I mean by that is, for no reason, there appears a contracted energy in the body. Its basis is knowing. And the experience of it is knowing I'm here, knowing I'm looking at a screen, knowing where I'm sitting, what's happening, I'm understanding. Now, all that happens without anyone, but the experience of there being someone makes it seem like it's separate. And at that moment, suddenly everything has meaning. And that energy of separation is an energy of seeking. Separation and seeking are the same energy. There's not a seeker without separation, and there's not separation without a seeker. And it will look at everything, in a sense, undifferentiatedly, looking for meaning and looking for purpose, looking for something for itself. It's always trying to get something. It sounds awful in a way, but it's not. It's just innocent. It's an innocent response to a sense of being separate. Being separate. So in the beginning, let's say, this is a story. All there is wholeness. And then suddenly, for no reason, there's an experiencer that appears that says or feels, experiences itself separate from everything else. And in that sense of separation, when that arises, there's a sense that something's been lost, that there's something missing. And out of that comes the sense that something needs to happen. That something needing to happen is the sense that I am becoming. My life is a process of becoming. And it's up to me, with my sense of volition, my free will, to make this into whatever. If I'm good enough, I might be happy all the time. Now, that experience of separation, that experience of this being the result of a past, a personal past, and a personal future, and I'm in the middle of it, having to make decisions and choices in order to make things happen, is an illusion. There is nothing outside of what is. And what is and isn't is insubstantial. It's ephemeral. It appears for absolutely no reason. It isn't going anywhere. There isn't any purpose or meaning to it. Now, for the individual.
So we've been doing this work on investigating non-duality and what's been termed as this spiritual criminality. This would not necessarily be equally applied to all of these people in this non-dual spaces. So whereas there is no one, there is nothing, right? Or the practical application of that, meditating as not someone, not something, not somewhere, not some situation. In that, there are also more advanced and less advanced people. Just in the same way, it's of course a story, but that's a story as well. Saying that it's a story is also a story. And just in the same way that there are more advanced carpenters or plumbers, and that's the one that you'd want to work on your toilet, it's the same with our degree of realization. So for me, I listen to this as this is Jim Newman. I highly recommend Jim. And I listen to it as a meditation, as a practice. Now, this can shake you up. This can be very deep and dynamic. And are there maybe elements of confusion or not total rightness in someone like Jim? It's very well possible. But this is, I would say, this is a reliable practice point and practice place to meditate to these musings, sharings, this direct pointing. Maybe you'd call it that, some kind of direct pointing. And I'd like to give some W's in the chat for Jim Newman. And Jim Newman officially has my seal of approval, at least for the first 4 minutes of this talk. So let's continue listening, and I invite you to listen to it as a meditation, but not that contraction, not that fixation, but the meditation of broadened awareness and broadened listening, where our heart and where our intuition is, where our gut is, to experience some of this value that's being shared. And we will look at some other non-duality teachers today as well. But right now we're listening to Jim Newman, and I'm glad that you are all choosing to be here together with me and to practice together with me in listening.
That might sound a little depressing, but really that's freedom. Needlessness, purposelessness, meaninglessness is just on the other side, let's say, of that is the freedom of this being for absolutely no reason at all. That knowing experience of the individual solidifies everything into my story, into my life. And the things, although everything is already free, it looks like something known. And that seems to hide or cover over the freedom that it is actually. Now, that doesn't make that sense of separation wrong. There isn't any need for it not to be there or to be there. It's just something else. It's the same freedom appearing as a sense of separation, trying to get somewhere. Now, that story of me, in the end, is hopeless. There is no way to get rid of the sense of separation in the story. There's no end to the individual. Not really. That's just another story. All there is what is. All right, then. I don't know if anybody wants to talk about that.
Yeah. It's a bit obvious what I'm going to share, but it's only just dawned on me for the first time when you're doing your introduction that trying to change yourself and become better is just seeking.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to be a no-me is seeking.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be a no-me anymore. I've stopped a couple of weeks ago. And that's not progress. It's just what apparently happened. But I was trying very hard to be a no-me. In case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the thing is, obviously, like I've heard you say on previous like meetings and that the me has a sense of wrongness about it, and it either puts that onto itself, like I'm wrong, or the world is wrong, and I need to change the world, or I need to change myself.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it's only just hit me that that is just seeking. I need to change.
Yeah.
I need to do something to make myself better. I'm not right. There's
Yeah.
just no reality to that at all.
No. There isn't any right or wrong in that way.
Yeah, it's like you said today, like the appearance doesn't have any demands or requirements, and it's kind of like there's nothing asking anything to change or be different.
No. No, it's
Now, something we might want to be aware of and have our attention on here. So, we all use systems. We're all using systems. So Jim Newman has a language system that he uses. He has a background of experience that he shares from. And there's a certain kind of realization or depth of direct experience that he speaks from, which is why a lot of people like him and listen to him. It's why I like him as well. I feel that. So in that expression, there's going to be people that follow along with that expression, that believe in it, and that adopt that system, but are not necessarily as skillful or as realized as someone like Jim. But you can't force people to be different. And Jim, someone like Jim Newman would say that he's doing nothing. He's not even doing this for any purpose. He's kind of just emptiness. It's just there's no self, there's no story that's really going to apply to it. But we have to look at our Sangha work and our community work in a very collaborative way, where you see yourself in that attachment point, in that judgment point, in that complicated thinking point about someone, about this or about that. But that's not really where our power is. Our power in community, in relationship with ourselves, in the world, is a matter of the heart. It's a matter of the gut. And if it's a matter of the mind, it's a matter of the deeper mind. It's not a matter of the surface level intellect, picking and choosing. And when we get into this collaborative kind of community work, we're going to have a lot of the intuition from our biological self or our primate self. So we want to be in control of the resources. We want to have access to the people of the opposite sex and things like that. So it's really a training. It's a practice for deep listening. And your discursive or your discerning mind, your intellect, is always going to be there. It's not like it's going to disappear if you just listen openly for a while. So we're empowering ourselves. We're taking in this new information and we're doing it in a meditative way. And it's in the context of, maybe Jim wouldn't say this, the context of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, but it's in the context of our search for truth and our understanding that that search may actually interfere with truth and that that's just a story. Right? So these 3 contemplation points that I've been thinking about recently, and I don't know, maybe this is one of Jim's dropping points, because it's more advanced, but ultimate emptiness, ultimate no. Everything is empty, right? Secondly, everything is just what it is. The toilet is a toilet. You are you and I am me. And that's the way that it is. This is a members only live stream, right? And number 3 is that these are equal. That emptiness is equal to you are you and I am me. Let's go back to our meditative listening.
It's already perfect, but not conceptually, not experientially, unrecognizably perfect.
So in our system, in the Tabarwa system or the Buddhist system, we would be looking at and working with, Jim would be talking about the original truth, the original nature. Tabarwa actually means nature, original truth. And this can also be very connected to Zen or Chan. But we shouldn't limit ourselves. If we really want to get to the final point of freedom, or the final pointless freedom, or the pointless freedom without finality or beginningness. There's a radical inclusiveness that has to be embodied and applied. And this is something where I've challenged Jim before, and I've had things to say with Jim before, because I said, Jim, there are probably people, just like Jim, he made a little bit of a deal with me, a little bit of a Chinese finger trap. I said, Jim, there's people that get it less, there's people that get it more practically that you deal with. And he said, yeah, it's kind of true. So in that vein, there are going to be people that are far more advanced than you. Wouldn't you like to spend time with them? Wouldn't that be meaningful? And he said, well, no, that would kind of be like competition. And this is also an important and essential ingredient, I think, for us as Westerners with our economic viability, the importance of play into adulthood. Because we do need something to do. We do need exercises. We do need a way to exert and push out this energy. And if we're just going to be slaving away and at a job, or slaving away dealing with sick or poor people, that, of course, is not going to work. So this play into adulthood that's not based in competition is also a very essential principle that I believe in, and that our work here and our exercises that we do here are hoping to empower and bring out in people. Let's keep listening.
Yeah. And I think actually, I mean, I don't know how I've been perceived throughout people I've met in my life, but that's not the point. The way I've perceived myself is extremely neurotic. At least I haven't hid it as much as some other.
Now, this is one more thing. I just wanted to say this because this is something important to be aware of. And please, everybody, please do leave a like. Please do renew your membership if you haven't already. This is a members-only live stream, so please do become a member, show your support for our work. Another thing that we're doing is we're copying each other, right? And there's different hierarchies that we set up internally. There's internal hierarchical systems that become set up. There's also internal family systems that have been established, right, that we can rework, we can change. But in this case, we may give in to that copying mentality where, now we're looking from the view of the teacher. You say, oh, well, I agree with Jim, I empathize with that, but who's this guy? Well, this guy's not Jim, and he's coming to Jim, so I'm also looking at it from a teacher's point of view. And actually, we don't have to do that, and most of the time that's not going to be fruitful, it's not going to be beneficial. What's much more worthwhile is our deep listening, our deep sharing, and our more enriched capacity to collaborate with one another in this path work, which is an internal work that then is expressed outwardly. And is supported, the internal supports the external, becomes an active system of non-duality, of mutual interpenetration of mindfulness and detachment with the Sangha, with the community. We can feel it. We can feel the delocalization of our ego or our self-sense, and we can see the evaporation of the self-fixation as a whole in this interpolation of non-localized awareness. So, but this is just an opportunity for this deep listening, who people that are also interested in these things that our community are interested in, with non-duality, meditation, Buddhism, spirituality, awakening. All this stuff goes together. It's still the root of the human mind is originally without appearance, or without dualism.
People have hid how neurotic they are.
But there's no need for there not to be neuroticism.
Yeah. But what I wanted to say...
Whatever appears is the same perfection.
What I wanted to say, though, was that I think a lot of...
just gloss that over.
No, I've taken it in. I've taken it in, Jim. I'm really...
See, this is quite this is quite sincere. I mean, this is something that a lot of people would like to see and a lot of people would like a key into, but they don't have the access permissions for something like that. They see it as kind of something superficial. But this is a reason I like Jim as well. It's a call out. It's a challenge. It's saying, what the fuck do you think you're doing here? Playing a game with these teachings, right? Going back to going back to self reaffirmation. Reaffirming of the self, just gloss it over. And now there's this interpersonal dialogue. You can't work with a teacher that way. You know, it's like you think you can you can't work with a football coach that way. The football coach looks at you and says, Chief, what the hell what reefer you been smoking? Run, son, run. Do hitting drills, get concussions. But somehow now a master, somebody who we're coming to as a master of the mind, to give us Dharma training, right? And teach us about the nature of the most profound, the most relevant, the most practical, subtle technology and teaching and recognition, the unknowable this, right? And now we're in a little ego game together with them. So we have to actually put ourselves in this very inappropriate and untenable position as Westerners, as egos, of self-sacrifice, of renunciation, of surrender. But we don't lose any of our faculties in that. We don't lose our discernment in that. We lose our discernment when we're rambling around in our head and making up all these little stories of what's going on. And this is why the service and the practice become so important. And a service and a practice that delocalizes yourself, fixation. So if this is one of the things that Sayadaw teaches so much about. You're practicing for yourself, that's going to be a big problem. That's very difficult. That's very advanced. You go off into the forest or you go off into the mountain or something, you practice for yourself. It doesn't work. I've seen it time and time again. It doesn't work. And so we practice for each other. This is my practice, right? And this is my practice for our Sangha. So we want to see how we can find a key into that as well. Because one of the things that Jim said as well was there's no inherent problem or negativity or wrongness in that neuroticism. There's no wrongness in tension, right? The tension is in fact the wrongness, rather than what we're saying is wrong, which is just nothing appearing, as Jim would say. Or Sayadaw would say, just cause and effect of ever new impermanent nature. Right? And that's the impermanent nature. The original nature is permanent. Permanently unchanging, unconditioned. Thusness. Or thisness. And we have to pick our poison. What's your poison going to be? Is it going to be cigarettes? Is it going to be YouTube videos? Is it going to be a late night meal? Is it going to be masturbation? Is it going to be sexuality? Or is your poison going to be the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha? Is your poison going to be selfless service? Is your poison going to be not mindfulness and detachment with non-dual Buddhist absurdism? To poison this ego, this self that's constantly running around saying, I want to feel pleasurable all the time, and I don't want to feel any pain, and I don't care about other people, and I don't care about looking deeply. Because all of those poisons, those other poisons, those cigarettes, those YouTube videos, the worldly, the common worldly things, they facilitate the propagation and potentiation of that self-fixation that's at the root of the illusion that you call the problem or the suffering that you're trying to seek to get away from. All right, so for everybody out there, Genevieve is was one of our members, community members, very serious schizophrenic. So somebody like this can come in, they can be a part of our community, they can afford a membership and be a member. It's not really about the monetary value for me. It's more about making a commitment and seeing the value or not. And that's why we do these members-only live streams sometimes, and we're going to be prioritizing that more in the future. So let's keep listening.
Really one of your best students. some people might even think you're favourite. No, but the point is that
No.
I think a lot of the reason I became so neurotic was just this obsession with.
Hold on for a sec. We may be going into a state of psychosis. This person may have just expressed their psychosis. Let's go backwards here. That's pretty remarkable.
Whatever appears is the same perfection.
What I wanted to say though was that I think a lot of
just gloss that over.
No, I've taken
Keep
it
going.
in. I've taken it in, Jim. I'm really one of your best students. Some people might even think you're favourite. No, but the point is that
No.
I think a lot of the reason I became so neurotic was just this obsession with I've got to be different.
Yeah. Oh, sure. It's a rejection. It's sort of a rejection of what's going on. Creates neuroticism.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to feel that. I'm not allowed to be.
So this, this is Jim's compassion and his wisdom. Compassion is kind of a natural expression of wisdom. But I can tell you for Jim, I know the guy. I've talked with the guy on many occasions. He's a tight guy. He's a kind of an asshole. And the idea that there's any kind of superficial emotional connection with this English twink, English twat, is absolutely insane. And it's disgusting what this guy is doing, or this person is doing. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, what it is, but it's absolutely disgusting and repulsive. And one of the ways that we do our practice is by letting go of our ego in our relationship and in our attention being given to the person that we're approaching. Just like if we are a guest in someone else's house, we're a little bit more careful, we're a little bit more considerate, we're a little bit more respectful because it's not our house. So anyways, it's a little bit off topic, but this is what I'm talking about, where it's not just non-duality, fantasy, disassociationville. That's not what it's about. Because if you came to, I've talked with Jim about this before. I know the guy. And I talked with Jim. I said, well, what are you going to come? What if I come up and do this or do that? And he says, well, I'm American. I got a gun. So it's not Fantasyville. It's not language gameville. And I want you to look at this interaction again, not as a way of judgment, not as a way of anything like that, but just to take a cold, close look at this, and just feel it, feel that energy, and you can do it with. Let's listen.
But what I wanted to say.
Whatever appears is the same perfection.
What I wanted to say though was that I think a lot of
just gloss that over.
No, I've taken
Keep
it
going.
in. I've taken it in, Jim. I'm really one of your best students. Some people might even think you're favourite. No, but the point is that I think a lot of the reason I became so neurotic was just this obsession with I've got to be different.
Yeah. Oh, sure. It's a rejection. It's sort of a rejection of what's going on. Creates neuroticism.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to feel that. I'm not allowed to be like that.
Whatever.
I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, William.
Thank you.
Hi, Jackie.
Hey, Jim. Yeah, that just the whole and perfect bit is. Oh, what happened?
I can hear you.
Can you? Okay, my screen changed. Yeah, is that like because everything's kind of like it couldn't be anything else? It's like it's fully itself.
It's not conceptual.
So it's not kind of like anything.
Conceptual. It's all inclusive
So-
concept, limited.
Sorry, so what do you mean when, like, what do you mean when everything's whole and perfect?
I can't tell you. I can tell you that it's whole and perfect, but what I mean is unrecognizable. It isn't, it can't be known. The me lives in a limited reality of this and that creates or comes with the sense that this is missing something. And as long as there's a me, no matter what it understands or what it finds, it'll always have within it that sense of incompleteness. Out of the sense that there's something, that out of the sense of separation, the sense that what's happening is real.
Yeah, there's such a pull to fit what you're saying to, yeah, what's already known or what's understandable.
Well, there's nothing right or wrong with understanding what we're talking about. There's an extra experience that there's someone doing it or needing to do it, that there's some right or wrong way to do it. It's part of that sense that this isn't it. It needs to become, and that's translated in I need to become.
Mm. And that, I don't know if I heard it from you, but that thing, that this meeting is just like, this is everything, and this is whole and complete, and like it's this meeting's no different from making a cup of tea, or
Totally.
that there's no value, there's no hierarchy of value as to what happens.
No. Well, in the way we're talking, there is no difference anywhere. It's all wholeness or no thing appearing.
Yeah. Or that, not, I don't know about valueless, but that kind of meaningless.
Absolutely.
Yeah. and the no need for meaning.
Absolutely.
Like just yeah, like I'm gonna have to say, but like, being is enough. It doesn't need.
So the way that I would describe it, the seeming efficacy of this system, these non-dual teachers and these non-dual system, is just the low level of spiritual technology, meditative technology, wisdom technology that exists in the West. And so this kind of very superficial development and very shallow advancement for a lot of these people is being seen as a kind of remarkable activity. And that's why you have so many of these non-duality teachers popping up, because it's, maybe like this woman gets up to here and Zabi or Tobias get up to here, and this entire spectrum of this is just being cut out. And it's the same thing that happens with a lot of spirituality and spiritual seekers, is that all this gets cut out. And this is the collective Sangha, this is the lineage, this is the ancestry, this is our heritage opportunity for spiritual revolution internally and externally, to rebuild our internal and external family systems. Now, you could equate it with a kind of Theravada approach, or they say a Hinayana approach, so a self-fixated enlightenment approach, and that would probably be the more appropriate way to view it. Whereas what is more dynamic and a little bit more advanced and makes sense for more people in the modern era is the Mahayana, or the Bodhisattva view. We're broadening out, we're sharing out our enlightenment, our resources, our values, and our vows to help others are actually elevating us beyond where we currently are, or where we could currently be. So it's very technical, it's very subtle, it's very advanced. And the fact of the matter is that the lowness of the standard and spiritual experience of the Western world and Western spiritual seekers is such that anything that's like this is getting, celebrated. Maybe Angelo's a little bit up here, maybe Jim's a little bit up here, or something like that. But all this up here is just being thrown out. And these teachers, not Jim, because he does a specific kind of teaching, but these teachers like Angelo DeLulu, they totally disenfranchise spiritual seekers from other teachers, other sanghas, other communities, and it's a cult. It's a cult of somebody who considers themselves to be a living Buddha. That's what it is. It's a Western living Buddha cult, and Angelo DeLulu is a very dangerous guy. But dangerous guys can have many wives, and I'm sure they treat them nice. Okay, Niels, question from Niels. Is it emptiness or the experience is nothing more, nothing less? It's just another concept, Niels. So no is a good answer for that. You can contemplate no. What is no? Let's keep listening.
Need to do any
Yeah.
more than that to prove
Yeah,
it.
exactly. There just isn't enough time for anyone to be.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Jackie. Hi, Monica.
Oh. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon or evening or whatever.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Apart from these meetings, do you talk to people about simply this, or you just don't?
If there's an openness, there seems to be a response about this.
Okay. Yes. Because it happens that I actually I know there it just comes out. It's not like I
Yeah,
want to say
totally.
something, but then people will go, okay, what's happening? And they will go like, oh, now I feel like you don't see me anymore and you
Yeah,
don't feel me anymore. And I'm like, that's somehow true, but not at all.
absolutely.
Okay, yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, William.
Hi, Jim. So, when you say like these meetings can have an effect,
Yeah,
but there's no story to the end of me.
yeah,
So the apparent story of there being a Jim who was seeking and there no longer is that experience.
yeah,
There's the whole story about going to see Tony and da 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 da.
yeah,
That's nothing appearing
yeah,
as a story.
yeah,
That's just nothing. And there was a Jim seeking and going around to gurus and stuff. That's just nothing
yeah,
appearing as a story.
yeah.
It didn't really happen.
No.
I don't know why that sounds great. Is it
Yeah,
the freedom?
yeah, yeah.
That's, I don't know. I just there's something amazing about that. I don't know.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Because I was obsessed. I don't know if you remember like some of the first phone calls we were having. It was a while back, but I was trying to get every little detail of your story out of you
Yeah,
for a little while
yeah,
because I really thought there was some meaning to what's
yeah.
apparently, and none of it was really
No,
happening.
it's all already empty. Yeah,
I am quite
yeah,
speechless.
yeah. Thanks, William.
But we can also see this, I've heard a critique of this, it's kind of an act, it's kind of a performance. And what is the lived, practical expression of that? You know, how far can this be tested? And this is why communication and opening up a dialogue is so true and so important, because both sides can be equally true and untrue. Both sides can be equally empty and practically what they appear to be. And so this communication allows us to go further in not just this internal spiritual technology, but if it's a good technology, I always tell this to the communists, we'll start doing some communist stuff and maybe it'll work out in America, right? If you love socialism so much, start doing some socialist stuff. Stop whining and trying to get money from people. So coming together and exercising and exploring these principles and practices, that's very valuable to me. And I think it's a very practical way to test what we're working on here. Because if you took some of these people and you put them into challenging situations, would that non-duality stick? Would your non-duality stick if you were challenged, if you're challenged right now, to leave a comment, to make a donation, to shut your eyes and meditate, to be free? Can you meet that challenge? You know, can you be the lightning strike that says no to the suffering, which is to say no to the seeking? So it's really opening up a conversation, opening up a dialogue.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Jim. Because when you're saying to William there, it's all already empty. So that's, what does that mean?
It's empty of the reality the individual seems to have. It's
Okay.
empty of any meaning and purpose.
Okay. Empty of meaning and purpose.
It's empty of story.
Okay. So it's empty of story. Okay. But is it not? I would have thought it is a story.
What's happening isn't a story. What is
Okay.
isn't a story. What is and isn't. It's just what is and isn't. It's just talking happening.
Okay.
There's just talking happening and listening and computering, and that's everything.
And when
there's
you
no
say,
explanation for it. Sorry, go ahead.
no, okay, there's no explanation for it. There's no meaning. There's no.
Yeah.
And when you say it's empty, that's still empty.
Yeah.
It's empty of meaning. It's empty of purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
And, even though I've heard it so many times to say, all there is, say, what's apparently happening. But, some people appear to try to explain that by talking about the present moment. And I get it. Maybe there's no present moment, but what is happening? So an hour ago, I was sitting in, pub up the road there having a drink. So that's an hour ago is
What is?
right, just within this.
Yeah.
But it's
not really within this. This isn't a container.
okay.
But it's just simply what is.
It's just what, but it's just a memory.
It's a memory. It's what is being memory. It's nothing
Okay.
remembering.
Okay. So it's just a memory. Well, but whether it happened or didn't happen, uh, that's just a memory with no
It's just a
substance, with no
memory. Yeah.
meaning.
Yeah.
And so it wouldn't be, so I couldn't say that even happened. It's just a memory.
Well, you could say that happened. Why
Oh,
not? There's
yeah.
no certainty about anything. There's no certainty that this is really happening. It's just apparently happening.
Okay. So all of this is apparently happening, including a memory of an hour ago or this morning, or
Absolutely.
so ultimately everything is just apparently happening.
Yeah.
Nothing's really happening.
No.
Okay. That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And then for me to say, well, if I hadn't have done that, that wouldn't have happened. That's all memory. Again, it's just, that sort of, you know, the story of, again, I suppose that's the story of cause and effect, which,
Well, it's the story of free will.
the story of free will. Okay, great. Yeah, okay. That's great. Thanks for that. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
Yeah, just that. I don't know, whatever's just been being said. There's something about like the story kind of like paring away the story, like kind of scraping the story
Yeah, that's the
off what's
hope.
happening.
That's the hope of me. The for the individual, everything is a story. And the story is, this is my experience. That's the story. When there isn't anyone, what's obvious is even the story is no evidence of a story. There isn't anything else other than what is.
Yeah. It's totally unconvincing, I'm afraid.
I got that.
Yeah, because it's something that like
Oh, the
wanting to
me
kind of
will never be convinced. And
no.
if it was convinced about what we're talking about, that would just be another belief.
Yeah, but I mean, when I put my hand up, it's like like being in this meeting like earlier. I think I fell asleep actually this afternoon, but just a sense of kind of like, oh, for God's sake, same old, and I still don't get it, and kind of boredom, and then irritation, and 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 then I had your voice. I think it was when I phoned you one time. It's like, well, who cares?
Yeah.
And that always, oh my God, that's always just, yeah, it's just my favorite line of this whole thing in a way.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm feeling frustrated. I can't get this. I don't understand that. Yeah, who cares? And
Yeah.
it's that, I don't know. I don't even know why, but it's something about, it's a relief, that sense of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Like it is, and being with Tony recently, like just getting to that point after a couple of days of, I'm not going to understand this.
Yes.
But I mean, that doesn't last long either. You have like a
Yeah.
week
Yeah. Yeah.
of peace and quiet in your brain, and you're just basking in unconditional love, and it's glorious, and the me just
Yeah.
diminishing, and then it all kind of ramps up again,
Yeah. That's
and
another
but
story.
that's the story.
That's another story. Yeah.
Another story, yeah. And but it's like, who cares? I think it just
Yeah.
feels like it pulls the rug out of all that
Sure.
significance, you know,
Sure.
all that kind of browbeating. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for that line.
Yeah. No. Thanks, Jackie. Hey, William.
Hi, Jim. I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but when you say, I don't know if you said the appearance is already perfect or what is this perfect, but you said not in a conceptual way. So
Yeah.
it's not conceptually perfect. It's
No,
also not experientially perfect,
no,
because any experience that me has that it calls perfection is contrasted as to what was not perfect before.
absolutely.
So what
It's
kind of
conditional. It's a conditional perfection.
perfection is this?
Unconditional.
Because it's like, this is what it is it can't be known, the perfection you're talking about,
No.
but at the same time it's also undeniable
Yeah.
at the moment anyway. Who knows what
Yeah.
the me will do later.
Uh-huh.
But it's right now it's undeniable that this is perfection, but it's like, but that doesn't make sense as well.
No, it doesn't. That's the confusion for the individual, is what we're talking about in the end doesn't make sense.
But it is.
Yeah, it is.
It just is.
Absolutely.
So okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Sheer.
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
Hi. It
Hi.
takes so long time that I be in touch with you. It's nice to see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, good to
Yeah,
see you.
good to really see you. It's it was very nice and in Stockholm. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Jim, I think to ask you about the. I really don't know what it means when I say glimpses. What is that?
Well, there seems to be an individual, and then that seems to stop happening, and then it comes back, and that where it wasn't happening, and no one knows what that was. That's what people seem to call a glimpse.
Is that not self? Is it's an illusion?
The glimpse isn't an illusion.
No.
There's the illusion stops happening apparently in time, and then the me comes back.
But in that moment or in that happening, it have to be. Uh, I don't know if it's seeing or it's something.
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you mean.
What I mean is when I talk about glimpses, so it have to happen something.
Afterward, well, actually, a glimpse, there's nothing happening. And then the me comes back and either does or doesn't know what happened. Neither is true because it can't be known.
Because they, for 1,000 years ago, thousand years ago,
Oh
there
my.
in in Persian, in Iran or India or Afghanistan, there they always talk about glimpses. They did
Oh,
talk
really?
about.
I
Yes,
didn't know that.
but that glimpses it's still is it's to see beloved,
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
why.
Absolutely. There's just no one separate to see the beloved. There's just the beloved.
Yeah, that I did read.
Yeah.
Some was in my country, So,
Mm.
but it's very old, It's more than 2,000 years or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I understand this. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Just to
Thank-
say, there's nothing special about it. There's nothing special about there being no one or a glimpse. The me feels like it that needs to be something special. So there's no need to go back 2,000 years. People are saying it now.
Yeah,
People,
yeah, but
many people, but it's being said now.
yeah, but it's they talk. It's very much writing about the beauty, that
Absolutely.
cannot explain it. The beauty that which
Well,
cannot
it's
explain.
funny. It's true you can't explain it, but it's also part of the beauty is that there's no one that wants to.
It's just beauty itself.
It's just beauty itself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's what this is.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's very right. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
why this body is here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Sheer.
Thank you.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Jim. Nice to
Hi.
see you.
You too. Well, I don't see you.
Jim, you said there everything is empty. So even pleasure and pain,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
are empty too.
Empty of story.
Empty of story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to ask.
Already.
I was going to ask if they're to the me, they would be concepts, but are you saying then that well they're concepts if you attach a story, essentially?
Oh, no. No, if there's a me, everything seems to be solid and real and separate, fixed, which is the story. And everything is already without that. It has nothing to do with the individual attaching or not attaching or detachment.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with the individual. The individual is an illusion.
But pleasure and pain would have certain connotations, but I suppose every word does. To
Well,
me,
I'm
then.
not sure what you mean by that, because the simplicity of there being no one is pleasure and pain is pain. I'm not sure what you mean, but what happens is if there's a me, pleasure lands in the story of me. It then means something.
Mhm.
That's the illusion. Pleasure is just simply pleasure.
Yes. Yeah. So it's empty, and pleasure and pain in their emptiness are the same.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, and just as well earlier, you just mentioned the body will naturally move towards them, and you said something like, unless or sometimes the me gets in the way. So, but the me getting in the way, Jim, isn't that just what's happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's nobody trying to get in the way because there's nobody there.
No, absolutely.
But yet that could happen.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Great. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thanks, Michelle. Hi, Jackie.
So, like, would you say like meaning and story are the same thing?
Yeah. Well, meaning is a story.
But like there's just, there's the simplicity and the innocence and the nakedness of what's happening,
Yeah.
and then there's adding meaning to that. There's
Yeah.
interpreting it, and yeah, there's making a story out of it. There's adding something to it.
It's not really an activity in that way. It's energetic. When there's an individual, the experience is this has meaning and purpose. I have meaning and purpose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like to some extent, the thing of, I can look around, and there's a sense of it's that things are just what they are. Then I'm not
Yeah.
meaning, but when it comes to me, it's like this, this incredibly dense and complex story of I'm speaking, and I'm deciding, and I'm separate, and yeah. It's that wanting to pare that away as if it could be.
Yeah, that's the
could be.
idea. That's the idea of a process of becoming. It just never happens. This is not becoming.
Yeah, yeah. That's so yeah. So the, like, doesn't matter how many meetings you go to, or the, what, the neurosis or the trauma or the density of the me, like that makes no difference.
And nothing makes, not in the way that Michelle said, it's the empty, everything is already empty.
Yeah,
So the whole story of what this is about or what I've done or haven't done, it's just a story.
yeah. And when you're saying like, even this meeting is only apparently happening,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Nah.
yeah. What? Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes it feels kind of fun and entertaining, this message, and then sometimes it's just really annoying. I
Yeah,
wish I'd
sure.
never met it.
Yeah, sure.
And and who cares? Yeah.
Oh,
It's, oh God, just that that adding meaning, adding story to how I feel about this. It's just, it's just this. Yeah.
well, it isn't. It isn't an activity of the individual that could be undone or not done. When there is the individual, there isn't just what is and isn't. There's what is and isn't to me, which
Yeah.
is what is, how this came to be and where it's going, my story of what this means. It never happens. They're just sitting on a chair, looking at a computer screen. That's all there is. It's completely empty of anyone.
Mm. And it's so simple. I feel dense that I can't get it.
You feel what?
Just, yeah. I feel dense, like
Oh,
dull,
right.
stupid, kind of. God,
Well, you
it's so
can't,
simple.
as you said already in frustration, that no one gets it. Getting it would mean it was separate. And needing to get it would mean that there's actual separation that needs to be or could be overcome. It just never happens. Thanks, Jackie. Hey, William.
Hiya, like when the me listens to this, it can try and apply it and take it on as a set of principles to use or whatever. But actually, I guess what's just coming up for me, because I mean, you always say this isn't a teaching, but really, this isn't. There's just no guiding anyone anywhere
No.
with this.
Well, there isn't anyone to guide. This is it. Where are we going?
Then my experience of me, it feels like, well, then I'm stuck here forever.
Yeah. But that's not what I mean by this is it. That's the story of this is it.
Yeah. Because it's like, in a way, like when you talk about this is simple, what we're sharing,
Yeah.
it's the sharing itself that's simple because it doesn't point to anything.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is simple. You're right. And the whole thing is simple. It's just simply this. Just what is and isn't.
So nothing actually, sorry.
No, I just said that's it.
So nothing ever actually gets said in these meetings.
No, not really. Nothing really ever happens.
I guess it's just the me's reality obviously feels different, doesn't it? Is that the me
Oh,
feels
sure.
something's
Sure.
shifting or something's changing?
Absolutely. Well, it's all about what's happening to me, which is a time-bound, limited experience. It just overlooks the boundless needlessness of this. This is no longer, in a sense, quietly, not loudly, amazing for no reason. It's what I know, and it's a position about getting somewhere else.
Is that what? Because I think you've said before, and I don't want to misquote you, that change is an appearance.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, because for there to have been a real change, there'd have to be something there to recognize what happened.
Absolutely.
To know, okay, well, this is now like this, and it was like that, and therefore this
If we're
change.
talking about awakening, yes, but there's apparent change. Trees grow, leaves fall. That apparently happens. Summer comes, winter.
But I mean, even that kind of change, without a me, there's nothing holding on to.
It's just an appearance.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
therefore, what I think what I'm getting to is that then there's no meaning, because
No,
the me holds on to what happened, and that
it's
creates.
already fulfilled. It doesn't need anything more. This doesn't need any extra.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Thanks, William. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Jim. Yeah, what I was going to say is time. It's also under the umbrella of knowing.
The experiencer lives in time, and that hides that time is simultaneously the timeless.
What's it like to live in timeless?
Well, this is it. This is what it's like.
Oh, I don't know.
There's no recognition that that is different. I can hear that there's a claim that it's different, but it's obviously still not.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Damn. You got good obviousness. Okay. Because earlier you said something to Jackie, and I forget what she was even talking about, but you were like something to the effect that the me can't get enough of time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
It's a sense of lack. It's a
yeah.
sense of something missing, and so it can only want more.
Yeah. I know. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy. Sorry.
Let's take this auspicious off point and go down the totem pole, let's say, of some lesser non-duality. Or you see for yourself. We will see for ourselves, if that's the case or not. But that's Jim Newman, and I highly recommend Jim, somebody to listen to. That's his name, and he's got a website. He does residentials, does a lot of good things. So check it out. And take a look at this Zabi and Tobias. I've been looking forward to this one for a while, so let's take a look.
All right.
Recording in progress. Hello, Zabi. How you doing, man?
Doing, Tobias. Nice to see you.
It's lovely to see you. I thought, one thing I realized, I've never heard you explain your original introduction to radical non-duality. I don't know that part of the story. I was wondering if this little video, you could give a little bit of an introduction to how you found this subject.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of seeking in drinking, drugs, and there was partying, women, you name it, just it was intense. Money, cars, and basically, long story short.
I always hear about these people. They talk about how much money they had, and they just threw it away in nonsense. It's such a shame, such a waste.
Sure, I Googled what's the point of life one day when I was for about a week or so. And then, Alan Watts and a few people popped up, and then eventually Muji, Rupert Spira, Eckhart Tolle. And then in the midst of all of that, that's when Jim Newman showed up, and it was game over.
And what you met him live in the States, or you just started watching his videos first?
I started watching his videos, but then eventually we set up for him to come to the San Francisco Bay Area twice, actually.
And he was the first guy you heard speak about what's now called radical non-duality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah, it was the same for me too, Jim Newman. Yeah.
Really awesome. Yeah, no, I think I did hear that from you. Yeah.
Well, it's the most distinctive thing I remember about it is although I'd been a monk and I'd been involved in other types of non-duality, I'd never heard this type of presentation. And his first words he used as he walked into the room was, "It's done.
Yeah.
It's done."
Yeah.
And for anyone watching on YouTube, we're talking about Jim Newman, who's a speaker that both Zabby and I both went to see many times, who speaks on the subject. The fact that he said "it's done" was such a provocative statement to somebody who in their dream of their storyhood had understood themselves as that which seeks that existential answer. I'm a monk, I'm a seeker, I'm searching.
Yeah.
"It's done" was brutal, but potent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe if you could fill in the blanks that what appeared to happen to Zabby then after the consequence of meeting Jim Newman.
Well, it was like 8 hours a day minimum. It was nonstop, just having videos on, shower, at work, driving, waking up, going to sleep. It was just non-duality. And it was Jim Newman, Tony Parsons, you name the speaker, this was listening to it. And it was obvious from the first few seconds of listening to a video, if it was coming from someone or if it was, you sense if, there's some instruction or if it's.
Well, you may be surprised because it's not black and white in that way. That's very dualistic. Right, and so this is the cheat code, or this is the inconvenient truth, right? The Al Gore of sometimes they call me the Al Gore of non-duality, but I've I'm on my own journey as well, and it's done. So let's continue. No, but it's very dualistic. It's really coming from non-dual, or it's coming from someone. Come on. What are we talking about here? That's not non-dual, is it?
This is tell me what you think about this, Abby, because I know because you speak on this subject too, and I think it's just almost inevitable that a human experience of life and the acquiring of knowledge is, I am the separate one here who does not know this thing. I will come to somebody who knows, I'll get an understanding, and that will be my understanding, and I will expand in my knowledge. And the questions that get posed are obviously posed in that manner. There's something that's felt that's not known, and there's a feeling that this answer might give me something that will help me understand. And it's such a brick wall to come up against, because Zabby, where is the journey? what needs to be given? And it's how to meet that energy that believes it needs something to resolve something, but there's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's the shocking beauty that there's not a problem, and the problem that feels that is.
Yeah, that was the relief. Even a problem's not a problem. There are no problems.
What was the moment where it?
So there's stages, there's levels of this enlightenment or this relief, right? And there's different systems for it. There's a lot of different systems for it in Buddhism, which is the preeminent spiritual tradition, enlightenment tradition. So it's not just black or white like that. You get it or you don't, or it's coming from someone or it's not. these guys are less advanced than Jim Newman. So how's that possible? It's done.
Appeared to fall apart then.
It was here. It was over time, seemingly. I would say like 3 years of just breaking down. You know, unraveling. It felt like a dying, and it was a loss after loss after loss. It was just,
yeah. How did you find it?
Oh, so at the same time, it was so painful energetically. It was all the stuff happening apparently in the body, but then there was a basking, you know, like Alexis says.
I can relate to that. There was I don't know about you. I found moments of real terror, like when there was a real increasing clarity that like one's bluff is getting called, and that this isn't some bullshit talking about it, but this is actually, as much as I'd kind of hoped there'd be a little bit of me left to not be there, right? The seeing that that's not the case is, I found that so shocking and so scary. Until that fear was seen to be just what's appearing to happen too, then it wasn't owned really. But there was that terror, there was the disorientation, and it felt like madness also, because the disorientation of the falling apart of the context of which you, as a separate person, believed you were living your life. And that was so orderly that yesterday led to today, which what I will do today will affect tomorrow. And that's so taken for granted. And then all the poker chips are thrown up in the air.
Oh man, it was that energetic tension of moving through time.
They're just presenters. They're just actors, basically, is what you're seeing here is actors. So, yeah, that's all for our little morning gathering. I hope everybody's doing well. Take care. And definitely check out the live stream recently where Seattle came. And there's a Dhamma talk that Seattle gave kind of face-to-face directly with me. So I recommend anybody go and listen to it if you're looking for that. The title of the video is like The Master is Here, The Master is Coming. It's a 3-hour video, but if you zoom up, you'll see when the Sangha, the monks and nuns, and everybody came in, and it's a pretty nice experience. So, yeah, we also have a guided meditation on the channel, guided Chitta Vipassana meditation, if you want to check that out, if you haven't already. So, yeah, take care, everybody. Be happy, be peaceful, and you know, don't be depressed. Don't worry so much about it. Just relax and be easy. Be easy. That's all for now.